Hello, welcome to Software Pulse Building Java Desktop Applications, and I'm John McNeil. Earlier in the year, I decided to change the machine I use for development work, and that gave me an opportunity to take a look around and decide what software I wanted to put on. And as you probably know, Oracle's changed its licensing rules, so a lot of people are starting to take a look at Open JDK. So that's what I thought I'd go with. Coupled with the fact that a lot of people who are doing JavaFX work have been saying that they're finding it difficult to get JavaFX integrated with Open JDK. So I thought I'll take a look and see what my experiences are. So that's what prompted these series of videos in the first place, and I've decided to call them JavaFX Fireside Chats, just because they're kind of short chats just about my experiences of getting Open JDK installed and working with JavaFX and Gluon's theme builder, and building one or two small JavaFX applications as we go. We'll see where that goes in time, but for now we're going to take a look at installing the software and getting it set up on our machine. So let's go take a look. So Open JDK is what we're going to put on our machine. I should have mentioned earlier that Eclipse is my IDE of choice, so along with Open JDK, I'll actually be downloading and installing Eclipse, and it will be getting Open JDK and JavaFX to work within the Eclipse environment. That's what we're looking to do. So first off, let's go find, before you start doing what I was just about to do, which is just randomly go out and grab bits of software to install, you need to think about where you're going, what you're going to do. It used to be you needed to make sure, it used to be more complicated. What you need to do now is make sure that what you have got is the same version of all the different bits. It will just make joining it all together so much easier. If you've got version 9 of JDK and version 13 of JavaFX, trying to get the two to join together is going to prove to be problematic. So pick a version and stick with it. Now I'm going to go with version 11 because although version 14 is out at the time of this recording, version 11 is the long-term stable release, the one that they are going to support for a long period of time. So I hate having to change versions and then make sure all my code works with a new version, or change the compiler switches to make sure it keeps compiling with the old version. So I like to pick a version and stick with it. And most of my code base is version 8, so going to 11 is going to prove to be interesting, I think. So anyway, version 11 is the one, so that's what we're going to go after and get. So I want open, so I'm going to put in Open JDK and pick the openjdk.java.net page, and that brings up this, and there's a link in here that goes to jdk.java.net. I wouldn't worry too much about concentrating on where I'm clicking in the websites. The websites change from time to time, so you just need to know that you're looking for Open JDK and jdk.java.net. Java.net is the domain where you can find it. And then there's a whole load of versions down the side here. I'm going to pick version 11, and then Windows is my platform. I was going to say, in the old days, you used to be able to get 32-bit and 64-bit, and again, you can't mix. So if you're going for 64-bit, it's all 64-bit. If you're going for 32-bit, it's all 32-bit. Otherwise, they won't work together. They won't join up and link. These days, they only offer it in 64-bit, so that kind of makes the whole choice thing straightforward. Windows is my platform that I'm using, so I'm going to pick this Windows x64 Java Development Kit. Press the link, and that will download. So that's that. We'll come back to that in a second. The other thing I want is Open JavaFX. So Open JFX IO. So I'll open that up in a new window, and that brings me to this site, which every time I see this I will struggle to work out how to work out where I'm going. But anyway, what I'm looking for is something that says go here to download. So I pick the I have Java installed, which brings me to this page, and download an appropriate JavaFX runtime. I click on that, and this actually takes me to the site you want to go to. Gluon is the site that looks after JavaFX. So if you want to dispense with all the rubbish I've just gone through, you can just go to Gluon and try and see whether you can find it from there. And get a big long laundry list of things. And again, Windows SDK, you don't want the JMods, you need the SDK part. So I'm just going to download that, and that's going to be downloading. And then the last thing I said I needed, the last thing I'm going to do in this particular video is I use Eclipse. And obviously because I want my JDK and FX to work with Eclipse, I'm pulling them all down at the same time. So eclipse.org, I'll get to the downloads page, see what we've got. Right, so if you want the latest version, you can just click download 64-bit and there you go. I had originally set up my machine back at the beginning of the year 2020. So the 2019-12 version was the version 4.14 was the version that was available then. So that's the one I would have selected, or I would select, and then again make sure you don't pick the Enterprise Java Developer Edition. Try and get my teeth stuck back in. You want the Eclipse IDE for Java Developers Edition. And again, I'll pick the Windows 64-bit version and download that, and that will start downloading. So that's going and getting the 3 bits of software. If I go to my download, I can see I've got Open JDK, which is a zip file. I use WinRAR as my zip file of choice just because it makes it easier for other things, but you can use whatever. So what I would do is I would extract all of those files into a location. I actually put mine under my hard drive program files. I create a folder called Java, and then I shove it in there, so you can see JDK 11.02, which is the variant I've just downloaded, and I just extract it and put it all in there. Whoops. And then we've got Open JFX, which is also a jar file, and I will put that in the same directory down there, Open JFX 11.02, so it matches, and you can see the files in there. So when I originally started doing this, I wanted to stick with 8 because I've said my code base is 8, and then I ran all sorts of problems trying to get FX11 to link with 8, and I wasn't able to. I gave up basically trying to get it to work, and I just went with 11. Just decided I'd match them up, and that's why I'm recommending you match them as well. It just makes your life a bit easier. So once we've got those installed, we're ready to wire it all up, which is what we'll take a look at in the next video. So what we've seen today is where to go and get our software and download it, and where to put it on our hard drive. The Eclipse is just an executable which you install and answer all the questions when you install it and put it in, so that's all straightforward. In the next video we'll look at hooking everything up together to make it all work together so we can build a JavaFX basic application. So thanks for watching, hope you've enjoyed it. I'm John McNeil, this is Software Pulse, building Java desktop applications.